easy to get up so early on a Saturday morning, and so thank you so much for coming. And this is our fourth year to do this symposium in the Southwest region, and mainly we do this symposium for you, for you graduate student and undergraduate student. And since the first time we had a symposium, every year we have increasing number of papers. So this year we have 51 papers, which broke the record. And we have papers from mechanical, industrial engineering, and electrical engineering, and computer science from UTEP. And we also got paper from Arizona State University and Texas A&M. This year we extended the event to a 4-day event. So we have 4 parallel sessions in the morning and 4 parallel sessions in the afternoon. We have 2 coffee breaks. So this time it'll be a 4-day event. And also to make this symposium successful, thank you so much for the staffing department to make it happen. And also thank you for every single student who submitted a paper and participating in this symposium. Without you, it will not be successful. And also thank you for all the faculty members who agreed on serving on session chairs. And of course, most important, there's one person we want to say thank you. Without him, it's not successful. It won't be successful. And with that, let me introduce the department chair, Dr. Ahsan Chouduri.
Gosh, I cannot believe it's the 4th year. Okay, we started this in 2011 for various reasons, but one of the overarching reason is to give our students a platform or a venue where they can share their findings and also exchange ideas and also get trained for a real conference. So originally we started as a training conference and it became a full-fledged conference over the last 4 years. And I hope you're enjoying this beautiful downtown view from this place, and our newest edition of our downtown, the AAA baseball field in our back. So let me tell you a little bit about what are we doing and what is our goal as a university and a department. So our energy research program has been growing in the last 5 years, very, very rapid growth, especially in the area of fossil energy and aerospace propulsion. So this symposium allows our students from various different projects to get together and share their findings so that everybody is aware of what's going on. Our program is heavily funded by Department of Energy Fossil Energy Program, from smart parts to turbine components. So this is a very high-profile program, and this is a program which is also growing very, very fast. But what is the real strength of our program is that we are the creator of the diversity of energy workforce. Currently, less than 2% of US energy workforce are Hispanics. So this is a really an unsustainable trajectory for our country. We cannot sustain our technological superiority and innovation-based society if we do not have a broad-based representation in our workforce. Our demographics is our destiny, so we have to make sure that our workforce mirror our demographics. Couple of more statistics. In 2012, Texas did not award any mechanical engineering PhD to a Hispanic. So that is a very, very alarming trend. On the other hand, UTEP is known for its ability to create opportunities and ability to create a pathway for economic freedom. So our program exactly mirrors that. A program where 80% of our students are Hispanics and US citizens, and they take the opportunity from here and then grow and make this area, make the region a draw for a high-tech workforce. So over the next 10, 15 years, our program will take a little bit of a different pathway. Our goal will be just train you guys so that you can start companies, get SBI grants, and bring more jobs to these areas. So I hope you will enjoy today fascinating talks. We have 2 outstanding speakers from PNNL, and I thank you so much for taking the time to come and help us. So all those growth and all those the plan and vision would not be possible if we do not have the right mentorship. Over the last 5 years, personally, I received tremendous mentorship and support from my leader. So with that, I'm going to introduce the Dean of Engineering, Dr. Schoephoerster.
Thank you, Ahsan. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the university and the College of Engineering, I want to welcome everyone here, our own students and faculty, and our visitors from out of town. As most people here know, even the visitors from out of town, because we've been marketing this for some time now, this is our centennial year. This is a very big year for the university and every one of its colleges and every one of its departments. This year is when we celebrate our 100th year of existence, and how I always describe engineering's role in that is that it all started with engineering here at UTEP. UTEP started out as the Texas College of Mines, and so engineering has been in the roots and in the blood and the DNA of the university ever since. And so we've been having lots of activities this year. Many of you have been participating in. Our most recent one was yesterday, the TCM Day, celebrating our roots as the Texas College of Mines. And for your students and new faculty that don't know about it, and our visitors, what we celebrated that day is that we started out as the Texas College of Mines, but in 1914, but sometime a couple decades after that, they integrated in a local community college and became much more of a broader-based college with liberal arts and teaching as a part of its base as well. And they changed the name from Texas College of Mines to Texas Western College. Well, the engineers at that time were not really very happy about that. And so on St. Patrick's Day, the day of the patron saint of engineering, they drew a green line down the middle of campus and said, and separated themselves from the rest of the campus and said, on that side of campus, if you want to be Texas Western, you can be that, but on this side, we're still TCM. And so, and that was the beginning of the celebration, and we've been celebrating that as being part of our roots now for probably some 80 years now, since the very first day that occurred. Well, yesterday's celebration was actually a little bit different now. As we move ahead into our new century now, rather than celebrating our being separate from the rest of the university and celebrating ourselves being separate from liberal arts and teaching, education, and business and so forth, we invited everybody. So yesterday we had nursing majors, we had liberal arts majors, we had business majors, we had majors from around the university celebrating TCM. Everybody's celebrating how important engineering is to society today. And that's really what we're saying is engineers can't be separate from society. We have to be working at that technology-society interface, and we have to be embracing society and embracing people from other areas and be working with people of other areas. To solve the problems of today, we have to be working with people in liberal arts and in business and in education and so forth. And that's really what we were celebrating yesterday. Let me just take a minute here and talk to you about what's happening here in the college and the university, and in particular in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, that is really so exciting and putting us at the forefront. So UTEP has always been at the forefront. It's what has attracted me here and what continues to attract the best faculty and students here. This is an exciting time to be in education, because education is on a major transformation now. And this is sort of the second major transformation of how teaching is changing. And it all has to do with the availability of information. The first time the major change in availability of information came at the time of the printing press. Prior to the printing press, most of the information was either here in individuals and passed down orally from generation to generation, and eventually we learned writing techniques and were able to write, but we couldn't copy those very easily, and so there was typically very limited text available, and so the information was very tight. And teachers were basically in control of that information. It was either here or in a piece of paper, and what they did was read or tell that information to somebody. And that's really what teaching was just passing on that information. And that's what's all the way up to the time of the 1500 or so, when the printing press came along. The printing press then changed dramatically the role of the teacher, because the printing press allowed a major change in how information was given. And so in the century or so after the printing press, we developed into essentially the mode that we are in now, or at least we're in, up to about a decade ago, where we put all the information for a particular course into a single textbook. We give that textbook to a student and say, on your own time, read that textbook. And then in the class time that we have, we summarize that. And so the role of the instructor changed from a reader, or just somebody who passes information, to a lecturer, somebody who summarizes information that you have in a book, puts it into context, puts their own kind of bent on it, but still is more or less giving information just in a repackaged type of information. Well, now we're in a whole new mode of information. Now information is ubiquitous. Any subject that you want to think of, you can go to the internet now and find both written text and dynamic text. You can find a lecture on YouTube. YouTube has a lecture on any subject that you can possibly think of now. And so the instructor doesn't have that hold on information that they used to have. The information, the student can get that information, any information they want to, on their own now. So now the question is, okay, if the instructor can't control that information anymore, what is our purpose? Well, our purpose now is becoming facilitators or coaches, and now teaching is now becoming more like a practice. I'm a sports enthusiast. I like to use a sports analogy. It's like a basketball practice, and we're like a basketball coach. We may do a 5 or 10 minute lecture once in a while, but we're going to be essentially managing scrimmages. We're going to be managing scrimmages within the classroom, which is we're putting active learning activities together in the classroom where the students will learn in the classroom. It's sometimes called a flipped classroom. And the reason I call it a flipped classroom is because instead of getting the lecture inside the classroom, you get the lecture outside the classroom on the internet. And instead of doing the homework outside the classroom, you do the homework inside the classroom with your fellow classmates. Mechanical engineering is really leading the college in developing that type of thing. Many of your students are probably involved in it, or either from the teaching side or the learning side, I hope, on that. So UTEP really wants to be the leader on that. This is where we're going to be in terms of the teaching style over the next coming decades, and we want to be able to lead the nation on that. And in general, I think engineering should be leading that charge, because it's going to be technology driven, and nobody understands that technology better than us. And the other major transformation that we're trying to really be leaders on as well is in particular in engineering education. Engineering education is kind of waffled back and forth between trying to be very practice-based and be very theoretical-based. If you go back to the beginning roots of the university, in fact, recently I would look back at our catalog of 1920, and if you look at our degree program in 1920, you can see it's a very practice-based research program. They had summer practicum experiences that the students had to participate in, and the names of the courses and their descriptions were very practice-based. There was certainly a grounding in theory and science and math and so forth, but the engineering courses were very practice-based. And then over time, particularly when universities took on the research role for the country, then we began wanting to produce graduate students, and we put a real strong theoretical base. And I think we went way far the other way. And so people like me that were trained in the 70s and 80s had a very theoretical-based grounding, but not very much of a practice-based. So now we're trying to find a nice balance between those two. And balance is a big part of what we do here at UTEP. And again, mechanical engineering is doing a good job of trying to find that balance of a very strong theoretical base, both from a science and an engineering standpoint, but also from a very practice base. Both in terms of developing opportunities within laboratory that are very practice-based, but also collaborating with industry and developing internship opportunities and so forth, where students can get that practical experience as well. It's what I try to call the medical school type of a model that has a nice balance between both the lecture and theory part of it, as well as the practice part as well. And so, again, mechanical engineering is really leading the way in that across the college and the university, and I'm really excited about what I'm seeing in there. And then last thing I want to just mention are some areas that we really want to make some impact on here at UTEP in engineering, and particularly in mechanical engineering. If you don't know, we are in the process now of developing a doctoral program in mechanical engineering. It's been a long time coming, but we're finally getting it. It's certainly well past due, but we're definitely ready for that, and we're ready for it in a way that we can really make impact. There's going to be 3 areas that are going to really be impacted, both locally, nationally, and globally. These are 3 areas that are really critical for us here in El Paso, critical for the first one. The first one area is the area that you're going to be talking a lot about today, and that is energy. Right, sustainability of our way of life is absolutely critical. We need to be playing a leading role on that, and when we look at energy, we have to be looking at a very balanced approach of what our energy options are, both now and 50 years from now and 100 years from now. And mechanical engineering, under Dr. Chouduri's leadership, has done a real good job of developing research and education programs that are training students, training you as students to get that balanced approach to be able to solve both the problems of today in energy, but also the problems of the next decades to come. And I can see you're going to be making a very important impact in those areas. The second area, and these second 2 areas are actually really critical for this particular area. We think El Paso has the ability, El Paso right now is a really exciting place to be, and you know, as Ahsan said, one of the exciting parts is, or the visible, tangible aspects of El Paso on the move is the ballpark that's right here below us here. But there are 2 areas, I think, in terms of economic development, in terms of economic prosperity of this region that we can make a big impact on. And I think it's going to make El Paso really a shining spot in the country here. And the first place is the aerospace area. The aerospace world is becoming very exciting now because it's moving into the commercial sector. And as it moves into the commercial sector, there's a lot of issues that have to be worked out, a lot of research that has to be done, and we're leading the way on that. And I think the El Paso region has the elements with us as a driver on the research side, because that's the first thing that needs to be done through those partnerships. But with the industry base and the Spaceport America, we have the elements to really become a hub for that commercial aerospace industry here, and so I think, you know, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but we have to be working on it now, so that 2 decades from now you're going to see that this is a thriving aerospace industry in this region. And then the third area is in the area of manufacturing. What we're doing in mechanical engineering is really changing the whole paradigm for manufacturing, and going to be bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. through the processes of 3D printing and additive manufacturing techniques that are going across a huge broad spectrum of applications in the energy area, in the automobile area, in the biomedical area, in the aerospace area. Manufacturing across all spectrums here are going to be dramatically changed by that, and we're leading the way in that. And of course, manufacturing is a big part of this region as well. And I think we can really drive the transformation of that from the old type of manufacturing, which is what this region is known for now, to this new type of manufacturing, and make this, again, a manufacturing hub on the U.S. side as well as the Mexican side in this entire region here. So for you students here, this is an exciting time to be here. I think when you look back on your careers decades from now and think where they started here at El Paso and UTEP, you're gonna feel lucky that you were part of what's going on here in El Paso and what's going on here in the mechanical engineering department, and being very proud to be a part of that. I just will close for now then and let you get on with your meeting. Again, like Ahsan said, thanks for coming out on a Saturday. This is really important opportunity for you as students to get a feel for what a real scientific and engineering conference is. You have a couple very good speakers here to learn from in this area as well, so I hope you have a good day today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Schoephoerster. Now I want to say special thank you to our staff member, Carmen, Gloria, and Laura, to put together all these symposium stuff. And also for the rest of the day, we'll have a full parallel session starts at 8:30, and the rooms are surround 1, 2, and 3, which is on the floor on the left-hand side over here. And the fourth room, which is Discovery, it's on the 7th floor. So you have to take the elevator down there to the 7th floor. And thank you, and enjoy the conference.